The struggle is real. 100 days into my sobriety, and throughout the thousands of comments that I've received, here's some of the misconceptions to becoming sober. Number one, the illusion to a quick recovery. So after a few days, you might start feeling better. You may think that you actually have a grip on it, and you're like, well, I'm gonna quit drinking X alcohol and I'm just gonna do this alcohol, or I'm gonna quit drinking. I've gone through my withdrawal phase and I'm just going to drink non-alcoholic beer, but then it leads to actual beer, and then it just is that cycle again. I'm just gonna cut back. I'm only gonna drink one a night, or I'm just gonna drink on the weekends, or, I decided I was gonna quit drinking hard alcohol, and then I was just gonna drink beer or seltzers, thinking that it was the better option. Really, it's trying to break those bad habits, and until you actually are released from those bad habits, and you really have a control on it, you should not touch alcohol at all. It's just gonna lead you back down the path. I know somebody, she has been sober for about 7 years. I have talked to her about people in my life struggling with alcohol, and she's like, literally, you can't drink. You cannot, if you're gonna quit drinking, you have to quit drinking. There's no substitute. There's no, I'm just cutting back. That one drink, if you are a legit alcoholic, you are just going to create the cycle over and over and over again. Pause the video, and I want to hear your comments that have gotten you out of being bored and what you have found yourself doing to take your mind off craving alcohol or having the urge to grab that drink. We want to break those cycles so we can become the better version of ourselves and feel better completely. Number two, associating with drinking buddies. This can definitely be a hard one because through sobriety, people are gonna keep drinking. They have to make the decision on their own, but they also need to support you and, not be like, it's just one drink, just one sip. But no, if you actually are trying to quit drinking, you want to limit yourself with who you're associating with. If these are the people that you literally can only be around when you're drinking, I would not put myself around those people until you have a grip on saying, no, I don't want to drink. Through this process of being 100 days sober, it's definitely been a long, kind of lonelier journey because you don't just pick up the phone or text somebody and be like, hey, let's hit up a happy hour anymore. Through this, I have influenced my friends to cut back on drinking, and we want to help influence each other. Megan's gonna quit drinking, maybe I should follow suit, but you only can make people do what they want to actually do. Me not drinking, that was completely my choice, 100%. Nobody said you have to quit drinking. It literally has made me feel so much better. I can sit around the campfire now. Back in the day, that's what you had to do. You drink around a campfire. You waste away your camping trip. You in the night drinking, you start the day drinking. But we literally just got back from a camping trip, and it was probably honestly the best camping trip I've had for the last at least 5 years. I went to bed sober by 9:30, woke up at 7 o'clock, I was completely present. Definitely a different experience being completely present. You're more aware of what your children are doing. You're more aware of your surroundings. I was actually going and walking with the kids, going hiking, going down to the river. It was such an enjoyable experience. Society tells us that we need to sit around a campfire drinking with our friends. But no, we had just as good of a time being sober around that campfire. Probably the best time that we've had as a family yet. This is why your sphere of influence is so important. I want to leave you with a comment that I got from one of my subscribers. When adults get ready to go to happy hour after work for a work event, it all sounds so proper. If they all would say, hey, we are meeting up to go do drugs, like usual, everyone would freak out. But in reality, that's what they're doing. In fact, they are doing the most dangerous drug. Number three, caving to stress. A lot of us use alcohol to cope with our stress because we don't know how to cope any other way. We need to learn different coping mechanisms to deal with these stressors. For me, yes, the first 2 to 3 weeks were definitely harder for me to cope with my stress. But through the process, I learned that working out, getting outside, going on walks, taking my kids to do things, I never used to do that. I was too stressed, but I pushed myself to do those things. We went to lakes, we went to rivers, we went hiking, we started going on walks, we'd go to playgrounds more often. It just got me out of my comfort zone, which helped deal with my stress better and learned how to cope better. Sometimes I would read, definitely embrace my children a lot more and learned to get down on their level when I was stressed with them particularly. But life definitely can be stressful. Using alcohol it's not a way to deal with the pressures life gives us, because it's just going to complicate things more. We're stressed that we have to go to this thing, and so we're gonna drink, but then we're just gonna create more problems because we maybe drink too much. And then you have to deal with the stress of drinking too much the next day. You feel like crap, what did you do? I mean, depending on how much you drank, like, did you black out? Did you make a fool of yourself? And then you have to stress about like apologizing for your behavior. I mean, speaking from experience, but you know, learning those different ways that we can cope with stress. I mean, talking to a doctor, talking to friends, venting to people. I mean, just embracing what life gives us. Unfortunately, stress comes with the territory of life, children, bills, jobs. I get it. It's stressful. The first thing you want to do is crack open that beer after work or pour that vodka or whiskey or whatever your drink of choice is, and you think that's going to help, but it actually does not help with relieving the stress. It just festers more inside, and then it's just never going to get dealt with, and then by time it may be too late and you're going to explode. Number 4, revisiting past temptations. So I feel like I have to avoid a lot of things until I have a 100% grasp on being able to conquer, like going to breweries. Those used to be my favorite thing. Going to wineries, absolutely loved wineries. I loved brunch. I have conquered brunch without drinking. Going on like family trips and like getting there, like, you know, I avoided going on a road trip this past weekend because I was like, well, what's gonna happen when I get there? Like, am I going to be tempted to drink? Are people gonna be like, oh, why aren't you drinking? And like kind of make fun of us. So I choose to take myself out of these situations that could possibly tempt me until I know that I can go and be super strong. Weddings are another one for me because it's just surrounded by everybody drinking, cheersing. I have a lot of experience with weddings and some not so good ones. So I choose to avoid those types of things as well, like the big events. Like, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation that could lead to temptation and be like, oh, just one drink, because that one drink is just going to lead down the cycle again. And I do not want to go down that cycle. And I plan on staying sober, avoiding these tempting places that could possibly put me at risk. I highly suggest, if you are trying to become sober, don't put yourself in a bar. Like, why would you go eat at a bar if you know that you need to quit drinking and you want to quit drinking? If there are other choices besides a bar, why would you go to a brewery to eat if you know that you're going to be tempted to drink a beer? I was a beer drinker. I loved breweries, so I definitely avoid them. Going out with friends that you're not super close with, that might be another hard one. I've learned to just embrace a different lifestyle and really just indulge in my family more. And I promise to be a better mom and a wife. This lifestyle of choosing to become sober is definitely transforming. It is a complete different lifestyle, especially if you grew up drinking or around drinking. Like I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure I started at 15, maybe 16. It was a lifestyle for me, and now I have a different lifestyle. I hope that I can continue and never break a promise to my children, especially because I do want to be a better mom for them. So choosing the better sober lifestyle is what is very important. Okay, number 5. This time is different, but is it? How many times have you put yourself through withdrawing if you were at that stage? How many times have you felt so much better, but then you just decided to take that one sip and it just cycled back into those bad habits? Like, this time is different. Why even do this time is different? Why not just quit and be done? There's been times in my life where I was like, well, I'm just gonna cut back. I'm just gonna drink on the weekends, or just one drink tonight. that just never went well. So this time is different because I legit made the decision to become sober. And so I'm not gonna have a this time is different, but I know a lot of people are struggling with, I've quit for 2 weeks. I quit for 3 months, but you know, life just got too stressful, but I'm now 7 days sober. This time is different. I really wanna quit. Think to yourself, are you quitting for yourself? Is this time really gonna be different? Make it different. You keep repeating the same cycle over and over and over. And I think to myself, some of these people that go through these horrible withdrawals, why would you want to put yourself through that withdrawal again? That seems absolutely miserable. Me, I've never had a withdrawal. I wasn't a shaky type alcoholic, but I would never want to go through a withdrawal. The flu seems bad enough. Just think to yourself before you commit, how is this time different? What are you going to do different? How are you going to change those habits and become sober? And, you know, what is different about this journey to your sobriety this time? What are you gonna do differently? I would love to hear your comments on, like, if you have gone through this time is different situation. I would love to hear why this time is different and what you are going to do differently to make it a permanent decision. We all struggle. I struggle. I am not perfect. I'm not here to chastise anybody. I'm loving your comments. It inspires me. It motivates me to just keep doing better and better. I'm just here in my kitchen trying to tell my story to help inspire those that have been thinking about this. We're literally in this journey together. We're a community. There's no judgment anywhere. We are here to help each other. And I want to know how your journey is going. I just want to throw it out there. I do not think I am better than anybody just because I chose to become sober. That was for me and my family. I am here to inspire and encourage and help those that want to join this journey with me. We are just here to create a healthier lifestyle and be more present in life.